fine. I've never actually been introduced to performance poets, so Pete, that's great. Thank you very much. Come up and do your stuff.
Hello everyone. Hi. No, crap. So you don't need that. Before me at the end if you want to. Hi. I just wanted to start by saying, I'll keep it brief because I know we've all been sat here a long time. I think it's really awesome that this caravan has happened, and these links that are made between the trade union movement and the climate agenda. I remember in the climate camp days, I remember talking to some of my friends in the trade union movement, and I know there were feelings of a division between civil society and the sandal wearers. And I think now, this is a massive step in overcoming these perceived divisions. And I think it would be interesting to see what went right with this and to replicate it to other parts of civil society. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. 3 days ago, me and some friends, some fellow squatters, squatted a garden centre, a derelict garden centre, which has been deoccupied for many, many years. And as I was digging holes and sweeping floors today, trying to work out what I could say which would be of any interest or relevance to all the amazing speakers and activists here tonight, I was thinking about the issue of housing. And as a gentleman here, banged the nail on the head, housing is central to politics, it's central to climate change. It's about space, it's about territory, it's about property, it's about money, it's about energy, it's about efficiency. And housing, like everything else, is subject to this kind of profit growth psychosis, which is doing so much damage to the planet and to the economy. So thinking about those things, I thought I'd do this poem, which was inspired by my time living in central London, where there are these kind of these erectile dysfunctions springing from the ground. You've got the gherkin, you've got the shard, they keep coming up. And at the same time, of course, we've got record evictions. We've got 30,000 people a year dying because of cold, damp and poor housing in this country. The property which the bailiffs turned up to on Monday that I was living in central London was a beautiful Victorian house, which is going to be demolished and turned into offices. This is a familiar story, of course. This is a poem from my show, which is a stand-up poetry show designed to get people talking and laughing about climate change, right? And I spent many months working with my director, and eventually we just decided to take out all facts and all figures and just make it relevant to social and economic justice. And there's no science in there at all, because this is a human thing, right? So, so here's the poem anyway, and lovely to meet you, and well done, Suzanne, and everybody who's been part of this amazing project. Big yourselves up, it's been awesome. This poem is called The Man, and it goes like this. London is a big, fat, ugly, sweaty man who slaps his hand against the arse cheek of humanity. London spits profanities. He shouts loudly across the ocean, "Give me more of what I want!" He takes. He does not say please. London is obscene. Old and twisted, he's been running this racket for centuries. His bowler hat is tattered, but not his sense of greed. He puts his arms around the world. He puts his arms around the world. Blood and oil congeal, concealing gritted, snarling teeth. Elephantine in his global stampede, psychotic for profit, mutilated by greed, linked umbilically to southern bounties, life support machine corporate colonies. Children turned into colostomy bags for London's retail excretion. Children turned into colostomy bags for London's retail excretions. London is filthy. He oceans his yellowy, carbon-stained piss, deadening seas with his acid. He sneezes his pesticidal diseases onto his food, and then he eats it. If the world was a party and life was a venue, you'd want to have London evicted and banned. London smokes furiously. His arterial roads are crumbled with car tack. London vomits tarmac. His skin is caked and encrusted with concrete. London coughs and wheezes. He is running out of time, deafened by the tinnitus of modern-day life, plagued by an epidemic of insomnia, plagued by an epidemic of loneliness. London is stressed. London is angry, a dysfunctional alcoholic with a penchant for... London tells you you are late. London will send you away again if you cannot give enough to London. London blisters, burns and seethes. He leans from his electrical wheelchair and screams. But London gives less than London receives. And now London's gambled all of his money. Unable to swim, he is bloated by debt that sits in his gut like the severed head of a Lloyd's TSB stallion. And now he's drowning in an Olympic-sized pool of insolvency. Soon London will have to learn to say, please. He does have a lot of parks as well, of course. Thank you very much.
Has to end with announcements. So there's a couple. Pete. The other Pete. Yes. On you go.
Anyone who wants to see the climate caravan will be outside the TUC tomorrow from 1 to 2 o'clock. It's outside the TUC from what it...
That's Congress House, just off the
Congress House, so yeah, so I'm guessing. There's a grassroots conference there, so we're going to use, and it's about organising the grassroots. So we're going to use the climate caravan as an example of that. Anyone else who wants to know more about the conference, it would be nice to have a couple more people there from the climate caravan and environmental movement. Please see me afterwards.
That's great. Ken, did you want to say anything? Or?
Well, the caravan.
Well, we already have time, but if you could do the 60 seconds, or just a minute, as they say, we're...
Yeah, I was going to speak a bit longer about the experiences of the caravan, because I was one of the 3 people. The central coordinators for caravan with Suzanne and John. John, you've not had any
no time.
Okay. I think, a number of glorious things about the caravan, a number of exhausting things. But I think the one that we really have to stress in this 1 minute I have to speak is the way people from different organisations, with different traditions, often different agendas, came together in the localities to make the caravan experience work. Often it was actually the last minute, which was exasperating for me and terrifying for me at times. But it did happen. Socialist groups, Green Party, some of the best organised receptions of the Green Party, trade unions crucially, the PCS fringe meeting in Brighton was tremendous. I think it was Southampton with the Trades Council on a series of events. Now that coming together happened over and over again in different localities. And it's something really that we want to keep up. We have to keep up. And the other thing was that quite spontaneously, those meetings were coming up with the same kind of propositions for the future. We don't want the caravan to have arrived, talked about things, gone away again, it all dies down. And a whole set of proposals will be coming up from local groups about how they can develop local manifestos, local projects, local programs for creating climate jobs in their localities. So the caravan rolls on, and we do have plans for an informal conference to get feedback from what's happened so far and where it will go on to in the future. I don't know if we've arrived at the final day yet because we're looking at the most convenient dates. But
certainly in the next couple of months.
Next couple of months, we will be in touch with everybody about that. But I'd really like to thank everybody, now I've got to rush, really like to thank everybody who put so much into it at different stages. I would like to thank John. I'd like to thank our drivers, it really, tweaked, it's finally work on the day. So Roger, Greg, Christine, who can't be here on the southern route, and the valiant drivers on the northern route.
Thanks very much, Ken. Thank you.
Yeah, can everybody look out for these leaflets. Hopefully you know, a lot of you know about it already. 16th, 17th of June, Campaign Against Climate Change is holding an alternative conference at the same time as the Rio conference is happening. 20 years on from the original Rio conference, we're looking at all the issues that really should be sorted by now. So just take a look at all the different workshops and all the speakers that we've got there. It's going to be a fascinating weekend at SOAS, Russell Square.
Thanks, Lorraine, and the relievers there. Remember, if you're feeling wealthy, there are some buckets at the door, and you know, if you can.
£2,000 short of the money that you
We are £2,000 short, so if we may not make that happen tonight, I understand.